Welcome back for part 2 of, I don't know, my book unboxing. Warriors. But it's also one where like stuff comes out of it and you play around and all that, and then it just teaches you all about different things. So like this is a page and then it opens and you have the Romans, right? And stuff flips it. So I love books like that. I'm a sucker for books like that, and I will be keeping this because it brings me joy. It's, again, another coffee table book, and I don't have a coffee table, but it is what it is. Wizardology, again, big book, has like the fold outs and stuff like that. And this one's all about wizards, so you just touch and you can see, you end up playing with like, oh, like what can I play with, or what can I actually touch? So yeah, it's just, they're fun. They're super fun. Have I read any of these cover to cover? No. I might have done the Warriors one actually, but yeah, for the most part, no. I might get rid of the Wizard one. It's not as entertaining as biology, but I don't know. They're very fun to have. King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table in a very nice edition. My friend got me this, so it's got like the gold edging, like the capital letter start chapter things, the little ribbon to mark your spot. It is very nice. I will definitely be keeping this. I definitely went through a big King Arthur phase and I loved King Arthur. But no, I have not read this. I don't know if I ever will. This seems pretty hefty, but it's really pretty and I will be displaying it on my shelf. The next trilogy, I'm gonna hold up 4 books, but it is a trilogy, is The Darkest Powers by Kelly Armstrong. So it's The Summoning, The Awakening, and The Reckoning. And yes, I do have 4 of them. I have 2 copies of The Awakening, but here's my problem, okay? I have The Summoning and The Awakening, the first 2, and they're like smaller book size, like normal book height, you know? So it's like the smaller size. And I think they're kind of cute, they're kind of fun. I have 2 in them, and this is how I initially read the series. But then I, for some reason, had The Reckoning as like a big book, right? So it's like the full size, right? And then I don't even know where I got The Awakening in the same version, okay? So normally I would just get rid of these 2 and get The Reckoning in the small edition. But these ones have the like uneven page edges. I don't know what that's called, but it's my absolute favorite thing about a book. So I'm like, oh, I kind of want to keep these, but then the other 2 are the ones I actually read. So I have not been able to make a decision, so I just have all 4 of them. But I do really love them. And then like the Darkest Powers, I also have the Darkest Gathering series. I think this one is what it's called. This is a spin-off of the original trilogy. It follows different characters, but they kind of intersect a little bit, but it is fun. I don't love this one as much as I love the original series, and I think I've only actually read this fully through 1.5 times, and half by I mean like skimmed my favorite part of each of them. But the size of this book is in between, so it's not quite as short as the short ones, and it's not quite as tall as the tall ones. But I do really like it. I do really love Kelly Armstrong. I have her other YA series. I just got it in a book haul a couple weeks ago, and I have it at school, so unfortunately that will be waiting until either I decide if I'm going back to school or go and clear my stuff out, but that's over there. And then I have the Darkest Power tales. So these are like all the short stories that go along with both this series and the original series, and it's also like in the middle, so it's marginally taller than these books, taller than the other ones, and shorter than the other ones. So this whole series just looks like an absolute mess on my shelf. Also, like, these are the covers, and then this is like the short stories, so they don't look good together. But yeah, I might not put this one on my shelf because Loki is really ugly and I don't like it. I don't really love shiny books, and I don't love books with people on the cover, and I know these have people on the cover too, but the bindings, they're fine. This binding is ugly, so this one probably won't go on the shelf, but the other ones will. Okay, speaking of Kelly Armstrong, I got these from a garage sale. This one's actually signed by the author, so that's fun. But like the bindings are absolutely messy, and they're just little like pocketbooks, which aren't my favorite. But I love her YA series. I bought these when I initially read the YA series. No, sorry, not these, but I bought like the first of the series, and then I was like, oh my god, it opens on like a sex scene or like she's like naked in bed or something, and I was like, oh, scandalous. Why would I read about this? Anyways, I got rid of them. I also got those at a garage sale, and I think I got the first 3, and then I got rid of them because I was like, no, I'm gonna stick to her YA, and I was like, you know what? Seems kind of fun. So I picked up these at a garage sale last summer, and I don't think they're actually the first couple in the series, but signed by the author. I think they were like 10 cents each, and I'm gonna read the series anyways, so figured I might as well pick them up. Probably will not be going on my shelf for this year, but I am gonna be keeping them. Then we have Paranormalcy. I did read this one. I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember what it's about. Oh, there's a bookmark in it. Read it. I don't think I hated it, but it clearly didn't make an impact on me, so it will be going. Vampire Diaries, I got this as a gift one year because I was really into the Vampire Diaries TV show. I tried reading the first one. I think this is like the first one of like a different series, like in that world, but I did try to read the first one and I just couldn't get into it. So this one I don't even know why I've had for so long, but it's not even read, so getting rid of that one too. Ink. This takes place in Japan. I think it's like a Western girl goes on exchange or like moves to Japan or something, I think. But it's just gorgeous. Like, it's just a gorgeous book, and it's also like textured very nicely. Like, it doesn't feel like a real book. It's so pretty. So unfortunately the actual book was not fun to read, which sucks because I love anything Japan, hence my try to learn Japanese books. But yeah, I don't want to get rid of it because it's actually beautiful and I love to hold it and I love to look at it, but I've never continued on with the series and it wasn't really that good to read. But I might display it on my shelf, so it is what it is. Ashes to Ashes. I know this is dystopian. I never read it. Oh, maybe I started it. I got to page 65 and apparently put it down. I don't remember what it's about, and I have no desire to pick it up again, so I'm sorry if you love this book. I know nothing about it, and I will be getting rid of it. Too much to read already. Not interested. J.A. Jant's Cruel Intent. I have no idea what this is. I know my grandma loved this author, so I'm assuming this is one of her books. I don't know why I have it. A novel of suspense. Maybe I'll pick it up. I am honestly, spoiler alert, kind of getting tired of the books I'm reading. Okay, I feel like I've read too much of the same stuff and I'm skipping scenes and I'm getting bored and I've DNF'd so many. So maybe I'll just pick this up for fun. Who knows? This will be one though, if I don't finish it by the end of the summer, I will be getting rid of it. So it's gonna go in that pile over there. The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. I just won't be reading it. It's not my type of book. I don't know why I have it. I think I picked it up at a garage sale when it was like big. But yeah, not my type of thing. I have The Starless Sea. I do have the book cover for this, but it is at school, which is really good because I saw the cover on the back of my bookshelf at school and I was like, where is that book though? So here is the book. Weird that I have the cover at school and the book here though, or like the book sleeve. I'm happy to have this. So it's by Erin Morgenstern, who also wrote the Night Circus, and the Night Circus I read in grade 9 and it has been one of my favorite books ever since. It's just incredible and so magical. So I bought this when it came out and then it didn't immediately grip me. I will be reading this maybe even this summer. I don't know. I feel like she's not necessarily like a fast author, like a book you absolutely just crush. So I'm a little nervous that I'm gonna push myself into a reading slump, which is why I want to read other books and other types of books. And I feel like if I pick up a slow-paced book right now, I'm gonna push myself into a reading slump. So this is I will not be getting rid of, and I will be reading it eventually, but not immediately. Okay, and then I have City of Bones, City of Glass, and City of Lost Souls of the Mortal Instruments series. I do have the whole series except for the last book, City of Heavenly Fire, because I have all these in paperback, and that one I've only ever seen in hardback, and I don't want to do that. This is a series I've never finished. Okay, I loved the first three. Okay, loved the first three. I was absolutely obsessed. The fourth one was bad, so bad I lost interest in the whole series. The next year, my friend was like, no, it's so good. This is one of this is like my best friend's favorite series ever, favorite world ever. So she was like, no, push through it. So I read the first four all over again, same thing. Loved the first three, hated the fourth, but then pushed through to the fifth, and it was so angsty and so annoying, and I was like, I literally could not care less. No. So then I stopped it all again. And yeah, I've never finished the series because of that. I want to, I always say I'm going to, but I just know the fifth one's so angsty, and I'm like, oh, do I care? Like, take me back to fighting demons. Like, but yeah, despite all that, I do recommend Kendra Clare. I love this world. That's a series I should finish. Maybe they'll go on my shelf. And then speaking of, I do own the Clockwork Angel series. So Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Princess, and Clockwork Prince. It's only a trilogy, same world, but like 200 years earlier. And I didn't care. It's a love triangle-ish thing. I didn't care about any of the characters. I found the main girl really boring, and I wasn't rooting for either of the guys, and I didn't care about anything that was happening in it. So I think I only got through the first two books. I might not have even finished the second book, but I definitely never finished the series. With that said though, they are gorgeous covers. So yeah, but in no rush to finish that. I don't know if I ever will, but there's just it's a very pretty series, and I do love the universe. On to the next box because we crushed that one pretty fast. This one's actually my brother, but I'm taking some of the books from him because he told me I could. So while I was in Egypt, by the way, I just went to Egypt. You can go watch my life update and check out my Instagram for more on that. But while I was in Egypt, a bunch of people were like, oh my god, you're living like my preteen red pyramid dream. And I was like, what on earth is a preteen red pyramid dream? But anyways, it's a Rick Riordan novel, and as soon as I heard it was written by him, I was like, my brother loved that guy. He'll definitely own it. And lo and behold, he does. So I think he has the whole series in hardback. And I'm going to read it because so many people hyped it up while I was on that trip. They made me interested. I've never actually read a Rick Riordan book. I know that's like blasphemous because everyone's like, oh my god, Percy Jackson. I don't know why I never picked up Percy Jackson. You saw my mythology books. I love Greek mythology. I don't know why I never read them. Like, my brother owned them, so don't know why, but I don't really feel like jumping into those. However, these ones I do feel like jumping into. Lord of the Rings, Part 3, Part 1, and Part 2. So have the trilogy of Lord of the Rings. I don't think these are mine either, but the bindings aren't broken, which is a little suspicious because everyone in my family breaks bindings except me. But I have no interest in reading these. I did read The Hobbit, and it was very dull and boring and had a lot of like over descriptions and just did not hold my attention. So everyone that loves it, please continue to enjoy it. But I have no interest in crushing these. Sorry. My Latin notes, I decided one vacation I was going to learn Latin. They had like one of those take a book, leave a book things, and somebody left a learn Latin old textbook. So I decided on my vacation I was going to learn Latin. The Norton Introduction to Literature, again, one of my dad's old textbooks, and I'm going to get rid of it. I have The 9 Lives of Chloe King. I do still have the sticker on it. I don't know why I haven't taken that off yet, but I read this a long time ago, got it at like a bargain books type thing, and took it on vacation with me, and I absolutely crushed it, and I was obsessed with it. My mom was like, do you want to come do vacation-y things? And I was like, no, I want to sit here and read this book. Now, is this book written well? No. No, it's not. Does it have a lot of plot holes? Yes, it does. Was I absolutely obsessed, enraptured, brought into the story? Yes, I was. Do I still think about this book? Randomly? Yes, I do. It's got like Egyptian undertones, maybe, or maybe mine's just like stuck on Egypt. No, because they bring in stuff like with the Sphinx and stuff, and they're all like werewolves except cats. I don't remember what they actually call themselves in this, so that's why it's The 9 Lives of Chloe King. I thought it was super fun. There is a TV show. I thought the TV show was kind of trash, but I watched it anyways because I was so obsessed with the book, and it brings me joy, so I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to put it on my shelf because why not? Girls Made of Snow and Glass. This is another one I read on vacation, and it sucked. I was kind of interested, and then it just got boringer and boringer and boringer, and I was like, and then the ending, I was like, this is not what I wanted from this book at all. So yeah, I don't remember what it was about, but it was not fun, and I will be getting rid of it. Winter Girls, I read when I was like 10. This book has actually deeply stuck with me. It is about eating disorders, specifically anorexia and bulimia. It's a little dark for when I read it. It's a little messed up, but I do think it is a good look at the detriments of eating disorders and how it is a slippery slope. And yeah, it has definitely stuck with me. And I will be keeping it for that. I don't think it would be ever a book I would go and reread. Definitely one that sunk in with its message. Tutankhamun's Book of Puzzles. You think I'd be able to pronounce that word because I learned literally all about him. This is a needed puzzle book. Riddles and Enigmas, inspired by the Great Pharaoh. I didn't even know I had this. I went through a phase where I kept buying puzzle books, and I have only ever gotten like 3 or 4 puzzles into all of them. It's a bunch of different stuff. Anyways, it's kind of fun, and then I lose interest if I can't figure one out, so I don't know. Maybe I'll throw it on my table because I am obviously in an Egypt mood, so I might throw it on my bookcase. Oh, From the Ground Up workbook. I was in flight school for approximately 2 days. There was a lot of strings that went with flight school that I was not really down for. So yeah, I'll be getting rid of this. And then another Harry Potter. Harry Potter, A Journey Through a History of Magic. I have a whole cubby about Harry Potter. I will put this in the cubby, and then I feel like when I move, I might sell all my Harry Potter stuff. I do have a really good Harry Potter collection, but it really just sits in this cubby, and I never look at it. So I feel like other people might just enjoy it more than I do currently. But for now, I will just put this with all that stuff. The last one from the tote is Harry Potter, A History of Magic. It is a very nice looking book. It doesn't really actually give a lot of information. A lot of it is pictures, but okay. It's gonna go in my Harry Potter cubby, and maybe I'll get back into my Harry Potter zone. The House at Riverton by Kate Morton. So The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton is one of my top 5 of all time. I haven't actually read this, but I really love the other one, so I bought this one thinking it would be the same vibe, and then I never got into it. Explain that one to me. I don't know why, but I will read it eventually. I don't think I'm going to get into it this summer, so it's going to go back in the tote, but I'm going to keep it. The Miniaturist, and it's like the ruffled edges version. I freaking love that. I don't know what you call that. Whatever it is, let me know. I freaking love that. My sister got this for Christmas for me one year. It wasn't really like my style of reading, but I had seen a lot of it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna branch out into this. And then I didn't get that far in, and then I was like, no, maybe not. But I do want to pick it up and finish it because I know a lot of people love it. It's also just very pretty, and I want to say that I've read it. The Ichabog by J.K. Rowling. Obviously, I was a fan of Harry Potter, so I picked this one up. This was like her new children's release. My issue is, don't name your characters like this. Like, Harry even was a stretch, especially, and I know that's like a British versus like a North America thing, but I don't like the name Harry. And then Ron, and then the names in this one are like just god awful as well. I don't even really remember what they are, but like this is aged at children. But I was like, what is, like, I think the one guy's name is like Fred or Frank or something, and I was like, you really want me to follow a main character named Frank? I'm sorry for all the Franks out there, but that's not a main character name. Anyways, I don't know if I'll get through this one because it was really aged down for me, and why force myself to read it when I have so many other things on my shelf, but I'm going to keep it in my maybe pile, and we'll see if I get through. Dune, Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune. My dad loved the series. When I told him Zendaya was in the movie, he's like, well, why don't you read the books? And I was like, literally facts. So I haven't even seen the movie because I told myself I was going to read the books first. And then everyone says the first book is so long and so boring and so dry, but he loves it. But yeah, I don't know. I also have a copy of Dune where I go to school. I've been telling myself I'm going to read it for like 3 years since whenever the movie came out, and I still haven't. But I'm going to keep these 3, A, because they're not mine, they're my dad's, and B, because I keep telling myself I will get through. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is the play. It takes place like 19 years after the Battle of Hogwarts, and it's written in play format. My parents picked this up at a garage sale for me last summer, I think. I'm not a big play reader, but honestly, I'm big anything Harry Potter, so I will be getting through this one as well. The Children of Huron, J.R.R. Tolkien. I don't know what this is. This is just a really pretty book. Like, it's got illustrations in it and everything. I think it's just like a bunch of like mythology and short stories from the Lord of the Rings series. But yeah, it's really pretty. But I would flip through and read this for sure. So I'm probably gonna go back in the tote for right now because I'm running out of shelf space. But I am definitely gonna keep that. A List of Sarajevo. This is another classic. Ooh, another ruffled pages as well. Another classic. This is one that I will push myself to read though, and I will get through just because I do think it's important. Probably not a this summer read. The whole Shadow Children series of 7 books. I have never cracked a single one of these. I don't know how or when I picked them up. They have the Scholastic book thing on the bottom. I don't remember ever getting them. I don't know where these came from. So they're gonna be gone because A, I've just aged out of them, and B, I just don't have any attachment or investment or desire to read them. So the whole Anne of Green Gables collection, another series I have not touched. When I was young, I was on a tournament in PEI, and we went to the Anne of Green Gables house there, Prince Edward Island, Canada, sorry. But they have an Anne of Green Gables house up there because I think that's where it was set. So we went to that, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. This is so cool. And my mom was like, oh, well, here's the box set. And I never cracked a single one. Sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. But I don't think I'm going to now. They're just not my genre, and just even looking at them makes me a little bored. So they're gone. And then I found my favorite bookmark, which is I got in Oxford, England, and it's got all like the crests on it and everything. I don't know if that'll focus on it, but I just think it's pretty. And then this part is like frilly, so it's fun to like play with. I love it. It's my favorite bookmark, so obviously that's staying. Bonecryer's Moon. I got this last summer at a used bookstore. It's an Owl Crate edition, so it's got like the colored edges and stuff. It's pretty similar to the regular edition. I was really excited when I got it because it was my first Owl Crate book, and obviously I bought it used, so it was like a really great price. I was really excited to get into the series and it kind of fell flat for me. You can go see my review on Goodreads for it, but really it just disappointed me, and I was like, well, maybe I'll finish the second one, or maybe I'll pick up the second one. But now looking back, I'm like, no, I have no desire to pick up the second one. This one really disappointed me. I do think it's pretty, and I do really like that it's owl great, but I think I'm gonna part with it. A Curse as Dark as Gold. This is the first one I had on my Goodreads currently reading list. So I've been technically currently reading this for like 10 years. But yeah, had it on there, didn't use Goodreads for like a decade. And then last year I started using Goodreads again, and I saw this as my only listed currently reading. So I decided right then and there that I was going to finish this no matter what. So it was 10 years later and I picked it back up. So is it aged for me? No. Was I interested at the time? No. That's why I put it down. But I said I was going to finish it, so it's a little beat up because it was my workbook last year, so I took it to work every day. And I'm about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through it. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish this summer. And I'm going to take it off my currently reading shelf. I don't care. I don't care if it's the worst book ever. It's not the worst book ever. It's actually not bad. But I will be finishing it. The Clue in the Diary, another Nancy Drew. This one in far better condition, but again, I would never got into Nancy Drew, and I have no desire to now, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Notes from the Underground. I bought this while in university because I wanted something like depressing Russian, you know? And this was it. I didn't get that far into it, and then I was like, oh my god, this takes depressing Russian to a whole new level. So I'm on page 27, but it's only like 130 pages long. But it sucks. It really is a downer to read. It is a downer to read. But I'm going to finish it. I should hit myself in the face with that. But I'm going to finish it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm making myself do this, but I'm going to. Muscle Cars. I went through a phase where I loved American Muscle Cars. So this is like a breakdown of a bunch of them. It's really cool. It's a really pretty book. I've read some of it out of here. I wanted to be one of those people that could just like look at a car and like tell you like the make and model and year and all these fun facts about it. I'm not that person. I'm really not that person. I know jack all about cars. This did not last long, but I am gonna keep it. It is very nice, and I just apparently love coffee table books. I didn't realize before, but apparently I have a whole collection. Another one, Doctor Who. I mentioned it one time, and then a family member was like, "Oh my god, you must be obsessed with Doctor Who." And then I got this like book, which was very expensive for them, and I feel kind of bad. It is really cool. It breaks down like the show and the different seasons and like the behind the scenes of it. It's got these great images in it. So it is a really cool, really nice book. And A Court of Thorns and Roses. I got this last summer. It is the first edition, which is kind of unfortunate because I don't care for this series. So the fact that I have the first edition and so many people want it makes me feel kind of bad. So I will probably be offloading this eventually, but I have some content in mind that I want to make, specifically like Instagram reels, nothing really for YouTube, but like where I want to be holding this book. So I'm probably gonna make that and then get rid of that. So yeah, if you want to, let me know. Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm. Started this 2 years ago. I don't know. Right after season 1 of the TV show came out, I picked up the book. I really liked the TV show. I was watching it with my dad, and I was like, oh my god, the book's gonna give me so much more depth. It didn't. I found more depth in the TV show than I did in the novel. But I was like, okay, well maybe I'll pick up the second one and it'll be better. And it wasn't. It didn't get better. I didn't get very far into this one before I put it down and had no interest in picking it back up. I am 60 pages in, and it irritated me that much. But because we watched the show together, my dad and I were going to read the books together. So I read Shadow and Bone, and then he read Shadow and Bone. And I just left them both on his bookshelf and was like, I'm probably not going to finish that. But because I'm not going to finish it, he's not going to finish it. So both of these will probably be sold. But I do want to watch season 2 of the show with my dad before I really get rid of them. So they'll probably go at the end of the summer. The Wise Man's Fear, which is the second one in the Name of the Wind series. And I freaking loved The Name of the Wind. I read it in February. Loved it, 5 stars. And I really, really wanted to get into this one, but 2 reasons I didn't. One, because I knew I owned it at home. So I was like, I want to read my copy at home because I know it's there. And 2, because the third book hasn't been released and it's been like a decade. So I'm like, is it gonna ever get released? I don't want to go farther into a series that's never gonna end, but I already own this one. My parents picked this up for me at a garage sale last summer, but it was the second book and I didn't get the first book till I don't know when I got the first book, but somehow I ended up with the first book in Where I Live in University, so I read that one. And then now I have this one, and I will be getting into it this summer because yes, just honestly, yes. Although it's a monster, it's almost 1,000 pages, and it's like a large, like this is Shadow and Bone, so it's longer and it's taller. It's a bit of a beast, but I am excited to get into it. From the same series is The Slow Regard of Silent Things. I do not have the dust jacket for this, so that sucks. Just have the hardback, but it is like a novella spin-off, so it follows not the main characters, but this like random side girl kind of thing in like her in the underground or whatever she calls it. If I don't get through it this summer, that's not a big deal to me, but I do want to read The Wise Man's Fear for sure. So those are all the books I found. I do know I'm still missing some, like The Forgotten Garden, Moon Over Manifest, The Night Circus. I bought These Violent Delights, and I got it in a Fairy Loot edition. Also from a used bookstore, the same one as the Owl Crate one. So it's like a little damaged and stuff like that, but I love Fairy Crate, or Fairy Loot. It's probably like my favorite book box out there. Not that I've ever gotten any book boxes because I don't have the budget for them. Okay, those are very expensive. But like looking at them and seeing them, Fairy Loot probably has like my favorite editions of things. So I was so excited to like hold a Fairy Loot edition. So I got that used, and then it was right towards the end of last summer and I didn't have enough time to read it, and I obviously wasn't going to travel with like a hardback, let alone a Fairy Loot. So that is somewhere in my house too. So I'm thinking I'm still, and those are just the ones I remember, so I'm thinking I'm still missing a creative book somewhere, but I have scoured my house, interrogated my parents, all of it, and I don't know where they are. So I guess technically I can't call this going through my whole collection because I can't find those, but I'm going to call it going through my whole collection because it's most of them. That is all I have for you guys now. I don't know when this video will be up, but I will also be doing a book shelving video where you can actually see me put everything on my shelf and all my little like travel trinkets on there. I don't know if you guys care about my travels. I love to travel, I love to read, I love to travel. Those are two really big things in my life. I love to read and I love to travel. So my bookshelf is going to be very much books and my travel little paraphernalia knickknacks. So maybe you'll get some travel stories. Let me know in the comments down below if you want the travel content as well, or if I should keep it to the books. But yeah, this is going to take me forever to edit. So we'll see how this comes out. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys all next Friday. Bye!